Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Rabbi Barry Silver. It's a pleasure to be here with you on behalf of Congregation L'Dor Va-Dor. You could have tuned into Shabbat services by Zoom. Any synagogue you choose all around the world, you could have chosen a conservative or Orthodox or Reform or Jewish renewal. You could have chosen all types of languages, but instead you came to join us at Congregation L'Dor Va-Dor out of South Florida. We practice a form of Judaism referred to as inspirational. We believe that the rational world and the world of science is awe-inspiring and wondrous. And if you want to see how it's possible to integrate the great revelations of science and religion together, stay tuned. Stay with us, and you will see how it's done. I want to thank you for tuning in. I want to thank Sharon Leibovitz for making this possible. I want to thank our board of directors for supporting this exciting approach. And I want to give thanks to my family who allowed me to be here with you. I am technologically challenged. We have also a cantor who's sick, but we're making the best of it. The show and the Shabbat will go on. So let the joyous celebration, the jubilant, J-E-W, celebration of Shabbat begin.
Thank you very much, Rabbi Barry. And we are honored to have with us Jackie Glick, a brand new member, and she's going to be lighting the Shabbat candles and making the glow of Shabbat welcomed into our homes. Jackie, take it away.
Okay. Go ahead, Stu.
You want me to do that first?
Yeah.
Come, let us welcome Shabbat. May its radiance warm our hearts as we kindle these candles. Light is the symbol of the holiness within each of us. Light is the symbol of the Torah's teaching. Light is the symbol of Israel's mission as it is written. I have made you a covenant of people to serve as a light to the nations. Therefore, in the spirit of our ancient traditions, that hallows and unites Israel in all lands and all ages, we kindle these lights at Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu v'hadlik ner shel Shabbat. May we wish you all a very happy new year. May there be health and happiness within each family, and most important, may there be peace throughout the world.
Amen.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Jackie, and thank you, Stuart, who we don't see on the camera. Thank you for Jackie and Stuart being part of our congregation. There's Stuart. Hi.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
You're
I'd
welcome.
now like to introduce Suzanne Burstein to do the Kiddush for us, the Kiddush honors tonight. Thank you so much. Suzanne has done so much for our congregation. Take it away, Suzanne.
Hello. Shabbat teaches us that all life is sacred. With wine, the symbol of joy, we express gratitude for all the blessings of the past week, for life and strength, for home and love and friendship, for the lessons we learned from our trials and temptations, and for the happiness that has come to us out of our labors. We therefore raise the cup of wine and recite the blessing of the Kiddush. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
I want to just wish you all a happy and healthy new year, and Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Suzanne. Suzanne is always showing so much expression and so much love and happiness that we really enjoy it. Thank you, Jackie and Stuart Glick, and thank you, Suzanne Burstein, for brightening our homes with the honors. Thank you. Turn it over to you, Rabbi.
We are going to enter into a few moments of prayer. If you notice, I'm coming from a very, very beautiful synagogue. I don't know the name of it. I'm not sure which synagogue this is. You'll also notice that Sharon is located in a very, very beautiful synagogue as well. But let me just share with you the most important sanctuary, the most beautiful sanctuary of all is the human heart inclined towards love. The greatest tabernacle is the human mind seeking wisdom and understanding. And holy ground is not just located in Israel. Every inch of this incredible, precious planet Earth is holy ground. So let us enter into our own private sanctuary of the human heart as we begin the service with some of our traditional prayers, which you may interpret traditionally or in any way that your heart may prompt.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamavarach. Baruch Adonai hamavarach leolam va'ed. Let us exalt and celebrate the wonder, beauty, and majesty of the creative power that gave rise to everything, including us. Please read responsively with me. And in the bold, you'll be reading with Ron Chasen. Thank you, Ron, for joining us. Each of us has a prayer no one else can utter. Each of us brings praise no one else can offer.
Each of us feels a joy no one can share. Each of us has regrets which others cannot know.
If we are weary, let us find strength. If we are discouraged, let us find hope.
If we have forgotten how to pray, let us be reminded. If we have been careless of time, let us be forgiven.
If our hearts have been chilled by indifference, let us be warmed and inspired with the glowing spirit of this Sabbath day. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kavod, Malchuto, Leolam Va'ed. The Via Hafta, led for us by Ron Chasen, the president of Congregation L'Dor Va-Dor.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושינתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך ולבבך ולכתך בדרך, ושוכתך וקומך, ושרתם להיות על ידיך, והיו לטוטות בעניונך. ובחרתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך. Sharon will be doing the second verse.
Leman tiskaru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai. V'yitem kedoshim le'Elohechem, ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, liot lachem le'Elohim, ani Adonai Elohechem.
Ani Adonai Elohechem emet.
Rabbi?
We are now going to have the Avot, the Imahot. Used to be the Avot, a prayer for the fathers, but We're an evolving people. That's the secret, one of them, to our success. So we give thanks now to the avot v'imohot. We give thanks to our parents, our grandparents, and ancestors of diverse backgrounds and languages and traditions who have handed down our precious heritage. May we be worthy of this inheritance as we continue with the avot v'imohot.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon Gomer Chasadim Tovim, v'Konei Hakol, v'Zocher Chasdei Avot, v'Imahot, Humevi Guala Livnei Vneihem L'ma'an Shemo, v'Ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshiach u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Atah Kadosh, v'Shimcha Kadosh, u'Kadoshim b'chol yom l'halalucha Selah. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
We're going to have a few moments of silent meditation. You know, all the words that we say and the beautiful traditions are so important, but they're only a means to an end. They're a catalyst to stimulate thought and ideas within us that are inspiring and take us to a more lofty place. I hope that our silent meditation will become active thoughts. The thoughts will become deeds. The deeds and the words will become positive action. And this positive action will shape our character and our destiny. So let us spend a few moments in silent meditation as a prelude to action.
We'd now like to read the names of those on our sick list who are in need of healing. We wish them all a refuah shalema, a complete recovery to good health, and to heal from within and around them. And we send out all of our healing thoughts to them and their families. Nadine Burns, Diane Bush, Rita Elias, Charlie Feller, Sheila Firestone, Laura Gallagher, Cantor Carol Garrett, Sherry Glass, Carolyn Goldberg, Fernando Gomez, Nadine Herbst, Arthur Huffman, Renee Scholl Hoyt, Kat Jackson, Carol Kahn, Gerald Kahn, Penny Martin, Melissa Swanson Musel, Dr. Suter Nair, Alfred Boritsky, Emily Perlman, Laura Perlman Devens, Vivian Cronin, Gilbert Puresh, Bernie Rosen, Miriam Sivak, Jacob Viner, Naomi Volan, Mark Wheatley, and Sheila Winston. And if there are any other names, please add them in your minds and your hearts and keep them safe so that they will return to a complete recovery. Amen. We now do the Misha Berach. Please join me behind your muted windows. Misha Berach Avotenu Mikor HaBracha Limotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach imotenu mekor habracha liavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shalema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. We now have the Torah service, and we begin the Torah service, which we are going to read the last parsha of the book of Genesis, Vayecha, and we begin with a responsive reading. Ron, please unmute yourself. Let the light of Torah be the light of our dreams.
Grant us goodness, grant us blessings, and grant us love.
May our yearning for peace be a blessing to the world.
As the olive branch soars with the dove.
These are words from Debbie Friedman's music. Am Yisrael Chai. Please sing along behind your muted windows. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael Chai. 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 O Davinu Chai, O Davinu Chai. O Davinu, O Davinu, O Davinu Chai. O Davinu Chai, O Davinu Chai. O Davinu, O Davinu, O Davinu Chai. The people of Israel live, our forefathers live. Ron, blessing before the Torah. Unmute yourself.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamvorach. Baruch Adonai hamvorach leolam vaed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher kervanu la'avodato. V'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
We are now going to read the last Sedra, the last parsha from the book of the Bible known as Genesis, the first book. Before I do, I want to compliment Sharon and Ron for their singing. Our cantor is not here today. Usually we're graced by the beautiful singing of Cantor Carol Garrett. They've done an admirable job of picking up the slack and singing some of our tunes. I really appreciate that.
You're too kind, Rabbi.
So we are now, I judge things a little differently. I judge things by what we call the kavanah, the intent, the feeling in the singing. And I can see you certainly possess that. So we're going to read now from the last book, and I'm going to read the very last lines of the last Sedra in the first chapter, the book of Genesis, as follows. Avicha tziva lifnei moto lemor. Joseph's brothers told him that our father commanded us to say to you, Potom hul Yosef, say the following to Joseph. Anna sana pesha achecha v'tatatam ki ra'a gemalucha. Please forgive the sins and the foibles of your brothers that they committed against you. V'ata sana lepesha avdei Elohei avicha. Forgive this terrible sin that they have committed. By Yidech Yosef v'dabram. And remember, Joseph was hiding his identity, but when he heard these words, he could hide no more. He burst out into tears upon hearing their words. Vayelchu gam echav v'yiplu lifanav v'yomru hineni lecha la'avadim. His brothers also were filled with emotion. They also broke out into tears. And just as Joseph predicted as an arrogant youth when he said that his brothers and parents would bow down to him, they prostrated themselves and said to Joseph, "We are your servants." Vayomer Elohim Yosef, al tira'u. But Joseph said to them, "Do not be afraid. Ki tachat Elohim ani, for am I a substitute for God? V'ata chashavtem et ra'a Elohim chashava l'tova." You might have thought you were doing something wrong, but God orchestrated this in order to do something good. L'ma'an asa b'yom hazeh la'chayot am rav, in order to deliver a great people. V'ata al tira'u anochi achalkel etchem ve'et tapachem. So don't be afraid. I shall take care of you and your children and descendants. Vayinachem otam. And he spoke to their hearts and calmed them down. Vayadaber al libam. He spoke to their heart. Vayeshav Yosef b'Mitzrayim, hu uvet aviv, vayachi Yosef me'ah ve'esor shana. And therefore Jacob came back eventually came down to Egypt, and Joseph lived until the age of 110. Vayal Yosef le'Ephraim b'nei shloshim. He saw 3 generations of descendants, Gam b'nei Machir ben Menashe. He saw the descendants, the 3rd generation of Menashe and Machir. Al Barki. In fact, the little ones were sitting on his knee. Yosef Ayomo Yosef Elachav, and Joseph said to his brothers, Anochi met ve'Elohim pekod yifkod etchem ve'ta'aleh etachem min ha'aretz hazot al aretz asher nishba l'Abraham liYisrael liYaakov. He told his brothers, I will die here in Egypt, but God would like me not to remain in Egypt, but wants you to carry my bones to the holy land of Canaan, at the land promised to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob by God. Yishava Yosef et b'nei Yisrael lemor. Joseph made his brothers promise as follows: Pakod yivkod Elohim etchem alechem v'halatam et atzmotai mizeh v'yamut Yosef ben Meah ve'eser. He had them promised to take him to Egypt, and he died at 110 years old. V'yachantu oto v'yisam ba'aron b'Mitzrayim. They embalmed him, and he died and was placed in a coffin in Egypt, the blessing after the Torah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kervanu asher bacharban.
Natan lanu.
Yeah, excuse me.
Shel natan lanu Torah emet.
V'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. I'd like to share a few words about the passage, but before I do, I must say, chazak, v'nit chazik. It means strength to strength. May you be strengthened. May we be strengthened by the listening of the Torah reading, and more importantly, by its implementation into our deeds. You know, many people wonder, how is it that the Jews were enslaved for 400 years? In some instances, the Torah chronicles 430 years. Why did this happen for so long? Well, if you read the Torah, you'll see not one word of complaint. The Jews never raised a peep about their servitude, and perhaps more importantly, nor did the Egyptians. The Egyptians remained silent about the oppression of the Jewish people, and thus not only were the Jews enslaved, the Egyptians themselves, their society was destroyed by plague. When we ignore the suffering of others, we not only harm the other, we condemn ourselves. There was a person who did approach Pharaoh about the condition, and Pharaoh said to her, well, do you have any complaints about what's going on with the treatment of the Jews? and her name was Naki Ali. And she said, no, I don't have any complaints. And Farah said, are you sure? What? Doesn't it bother you? She said, well, we do have a little issue with the role of the government and how it's separating its powers from the power of the people, but that's really about it. We said, that's it? So she said, well, what would you want me to say? And Farah said, I don't know. What about slavery? Oh, slavery, she said. Slavery, no, that's not really what we're complaining about. That's not what the issue is. Today, thousands of years later, we hear the same thing from a presidential candidate who doesn't feel that slavery was even an issue in fighting the Civil War. She was complacent, and that is why bad things happen, because people fail to speak up. Silence is highly destructive. But finally, Moses spoke with moral clarity and said, let my people go. Why? That they might serve me. In other words, our freedom wasn't the only reason why we wanted to be liberated. It was in order to be free so that we could carry out our sacred mission to be a light unto the nations. We needed to liberate ourselves so we could help enlighten the world. And how did we do that? Based on our experience in Egypt, we said, because we've suffered, others, we're going to say, never again should anyone be enslaved, and we should always speak up in order to be oppressed. Slaves in Egypt, but sometimes that slavery continues. Today, we are often still enslaved by self-imposed servitude, slaves to bad habits, narrow-minded thinking. In the world today, we see many modern examples of self-enslavement. The word Egypt, Mizraim, means narrowness. When we're narrow-minded, when we can't expand our thinking, when we're indoctrinated by religious or political or self-imposed restrictions on our thought, we're enslaved. The goal of cosmic Judaism and religion in general is to liberate our minds so that we can think outside of the box and think of how we can be a person that lives up to our highest potential, and how the Jewish people, working with others, can help bring out the best potential in others. How was that done? Well, Joseph thought his highest potential was to have people bow down to him, to worship him, and he found out something else. In this passage, he realized all of that power and influence was nothing, nothing compared to family. He wept openly because he felt he was disconnected from his family. But when he reconciled and he spoke to their heart and he made them feel okay with what they did and said, I will take care of you, he wept, and so did his family. And then he reached his highest potential, caring for others, caring for family. We at L'Dor Va-Dor, we have a congregational family. You are welcome to join us. We want you to become part of our family. We also have our own individual families. I wouldn't be here doing this service if my family wasn't here to help care for me. I wouldn't be here doing this service without our congregational family making all of this possible. Believe me, there's no way that any one person could even come close to doing all this. It's a team. It's working together as a team with wonderful, amazing volunteers, wonderful people who have technical skills, who have love in their heart and devotion for Yiddishkeit in their soul. It's working together as a team and as a family. That's our highest ideal and our greatest source of joy and of happiness. But not only is the congregation our family, we need to expand to see all people, all living things as part of our family. And even as the Jewish people fight to liberate Jews and Palestinians from Hamas, we weep and we shed tears for the people of Palestine, the people of Gaza. And we look forward to the day when we will achieve peace so that we will have a free and independent Palestinian state on the West Bank and they will recognize Israel's right to exist. And then maybe after Hamas is no more, maybe we'll also be able to extend a Palestinian state into Gaza. Hamas is Spanish for never, spelled in Spanish, Jamas, Hamas. Never again will the Jews be subjected to violence and murder and torture without fighting back. Hamas also means violence in Hebrew. Never again should we suffer violence quietly and silently. We call upon the world community to aid Israel in ostracizing and in silencing Hamas so that the carnage will stop, the hostages will be returned, the violence will end, and we'll finally achieve peace in the Middle East. The greatest liberation is the liberation of the mind. Let us remember the words of the passage. Let my people go, they might serve me. Let us liberate ourselves from our mental shackles, manacles of the mind, so that we can serve humanity with the gifts that no one else possesses. And we will find that as we serve others, join with our family, we will achieve not only happiness for others, but the sublime happiness that we can experience in life. Shabbat, Shalom, Chazak, Chazak, Bendit Chazak.
Chazak, chazak, ve'itnatzak. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו קברי ארצות, ולא שמענו בשמחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחמים ומודים, לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר, והיו אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
We now have the Kaddish, and I ask you to please stay standing as we remember those who have been taken recently from us: Murray Ben Ruby, Carol Goodman Bushy, David Goldfinger, Florence Powlick, Helen Shiner. We also remember the yahrzeits of those who died in years past in December: Harry Brusso, Alex Cohen, David Cooper, Kurt Daniel, Benjamin Feynman, Rose Feynman, Mary Field, Roger Field, Lawrence Friedman, Denville Garrett, Alfredo Gomez, Norman Heyman, Paige Holsby, Harry Jacobs, George Canterman, Anna Kraus, Carl Lickman, Murray Mate, Rose Mate, Eva Jacoby Mulrad, Tilly Pensack, Abraham Perlman, Eva Purich, Jack Robarts, Herbert Rothschild, Dorothy Sulzer, Max Schatzer, Donald Schipper, Molly Shapiro, Max Spruckman, Donald Steinman, and Charles Zayden. We also remember those who have died in wars that are across the nation and across the world, and we remember them with love in our hearts and our minds as we recite the Kaddish, led for us by Ron Chasen.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבו, בעלמא תברך יחותי וימליך מלכותי, יחייכון ויומכון, ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב אמרו אמן. יהי שמי רב מבורך לעולם עולמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא. יתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי קודשו בריחו. לאלו מן כל ברכתה ושירתה. תושבחתה ונחמתה. תמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלום רבה מן שמיה. וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל. ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו. הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יושבי תבל. ואמרו אמן.
May their memories be for
May
blessing.
their memories be for a blessing.
We now have the announcements, and I will share some with you. We have a touch of history with L'Dor Va-Dor, Tuesday, January 2nd at 7 p.m. on Zoom. We're going to be seeing some videos about the philanthropy of Julius Rosenwald and the origins of the Hava Nagila. And join with us, and I think you'll have fun with all things Jewish. We welcome you to join us for our next First Friday and First of the New Year celebration of Shabbat with Rabbi Barry Silver and Cantor Carol Garrett on Friday, January 5th, 7 p.m. Eastern, and that'll be virtually. Website and emails will have the links for our Shabbat. And while I'm on this slide, I can tell you that on January 19th and February 16th, we are going to be meeting live and in person at the Boynton Beach Arts and Cultural Center in downtown Boynton Beach, and you'll get more information and directions for that. And that will be at 6:30 p.m. on February 19th, on January 19th and February 16th. And we look forward to seeing everyone in person at those two nights. On Monday, January 8th at 7 p.m., we'll have a film and discussion, Farewell, Mr. Halfman, with Rabbi Barry speaking before the movie. It'll be at 7 p.m., $8 for all admittance. You can buy tickets at the theater on the day of the movie. We have our Touch of Torah with Rabbi Barry Silver on Tuesday, January 9th at 7 p.m. on Zoom. And join us for a rational interpretation and learning experience with L'Dor Va-Dor and Rabbi Barry. Support our synagogue, be a part of the Congregation L'Dor Va-Dor family. We want you all to be part of our family. See more on our YouTube channel, our Facebook page, our Instagram account, our website, ledorvador.org. We love you and want to see you in person and hope that you'll be able to come out and see us at the City of Boynton Beach Arts and Cultural Center. Shabbat Shalom. Join us for our Zoom shmooze following our Shabbat tonight. And we have a couple of very nice videos to end the service with, so I hope you'll stick around for those. Rabbi Barry has our last words.
I would like to share a final benediction, which comes from the Latin. It means a good word, a benediction. I just want to share with you how grateful I am to our congregational family and the people who participated in this service. Our multilingual president, Ron Chase, and Sharon Leibovitz, who not only shared her expertise and talents and time in putting together the service, but also showed us that she's also quite capable of singing some of the wonderful blessings, as Ron Chasen did as well. Suzanne Burstein, who is always here, always helping, always doing whatever she can to add joy and love and enthusiasm to our congregation, as she's been doing for decades. I want to thank Jackie and Stuart Glick for sharing the lighting the Shabbat candles. I want to thank Carol Garrett for being with us all the time, not tonight, but she's in here in spirit. Her musical spirit is always with us. I want to thank others. The passage showed us something important. Fame is something that most people aspire to, but when they get it, they find it's not all it's cracked up to be. Many famous people end up taking their own lives because they thought, if only I had fame, I'd be happy. They achieve it and they realize they're not. Joseph wasn't interested in just fame. He was able to change, to mature, and to grow. More important than fame is to take off the E from fame and make it family, and to realize how important our family is. Without them, we are nothing. And to be great is important, but it's even more important to be grateful. And we should be grateful for friends and family and not worry about how big we are. The smallest letter in the Hebrew alphabet is Yud. But Yud is the first letter in the most important words in Judaism. Yid, which means a Jew, which reminds us, how do we change the world? Yidel by Yidel. One Jewish person plus another Jewish person. It's the original letter of Yid, which means Jewish. First letter of Yisrael. First letter of Yehudah, from which we get Judah and Judaism. First letter of Yah, which is the shorthand of God. First letter of Yaakov. First letter of Yosef. What does that tell us? Don't seek to be the biggest. Seek to be the one who serves the greatest. That's what we're all about here, to serve. And so I thank everyone. And remember, don't think you're just one person. Don't think you're not rich and famous and powerful. You have the ability to achieve greatness as Joseph did. How? By bringing us all together as one people and one family and one human family and one family of living things on planet Earth. Shabbat Shalom, Chazak, Chazak, V'nit Chazik. Let us be inspired and strengthened by the beautiful words of Torah rationally interpreted in our lives today. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Look forward to being with you soon. My book on cosmic Judaism is coming out shortly. Some people said, Rabbi, you promised we'd be in our own building by the end of the year. Well, actually, I didn't promise that. What I said was, I hope it'll happen. I'm looking forward to it happening. I think it will happen, but I made a mistake. I do make mistakes, but I don't normally break promises because I don't make promises. I don't like to predict the future, but I will predict this, that this book will be coming out pretty soon. I'm not promising, I'm just telling you my expectation. And when it does, we're very excited because people will get to see what this concept is all about. I invite your critique, and I thank Congregation L'Dor Va-Dor for supporting this wonderful approach to Judaism, which combines the realms of science and religion. Shabbat Shalom.
Rabbi, Shabbat Shalom, and thank you very much for a beautiful service.
Thank you.
Yehiyeh Shalom.
When we heal one another, there will be peace in the world. When we understand one another, there will be peace in the world. When we love one another, there will be peace in the world. Yehiyeh Shalom, Yehiyeh Shalom, Ba'olam. Yehiyeh Shalom, Yehiyeh Shalom. When we believe in one another, there will be peace in the world. When we learn from one another, there will be peace in the world. When we work with one another, there will be peace in the world. Yehiyeh Shalom, Yehiyeh Shalom, Ba'olam. Yehiyeh Shalom, Yehiyeh Shalom. We believe that peace will come. We'll see the beauty in everyone. We believe that peace can be, that the children
That was the wonderful singing of cantor Andy Sussman. We thank him for concluding our service so beautifully.
Thank you so much, everybody.